How are you?
Good. I'm distracted by your background. I see a pineapple.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah,
And a few books and a little plant.
yeah, that no one's gonna read.
No one's gonna read it. I thank you so much for making the outrun. I know it was, very different, kind of tapping into a character that dealt heavily with addiction and recovery. I'm just curious, where did you pull from, and did you have any experiences of your own to kind of pull from?
Yeah, I mean, I think unfortunately everybody does. I think with alcoholism as an addiction in particular, it does affect every life, every family. And I was no different. It's really kind of, I think in particular, it's really shaped me growing up. And it's been sort of this like monster in the corner of the room that I hadn't quite dealt with, but I'd always just been really angry at it, and hurt by it. And I when the book came along, which was through Jack Loudon, and we both read it in lockdown, it then felt for me personally like it was the right time for me to tackle something like that and sort of break it open and explore why it affects me in the way that it does, and also just to understand the psychology of an addict in a way that I don't think I was willing to up until that point.
Absolutely. And you yourself, how do you wind down? Do you have any vices of your own? Like how does Saoirse Ronan, wind down from a long day, 15-hour day on set? I know you're so busy.
Yeah, I over the last few years I've started driving myself to work, which is just the best thing ever. Which I know sounds like nothing, but for some reason in our industry, actors don't drive themselves, apart from a few of us. And so at the end of the day, being able to get in the car and just sort of switch off and either put music on or just have, I usually just have nothing for a little bit. And especially when I was in Orkney and I would drive through this like beautiful scenery, it was a really great way to just like physically leave it all behind, I suppose. Less so the material itself and more just as much as I'm used to being on film sets, being around people all the time is knackering. So to just have those few moments on your own is really, really nice. And I love a bath. I love a candle. I love putting on a bit of Max Richter at night as I'm going to bed. So yeah, there's a few little things that I've sort of held on to as I've gone on in
Yeah,
this
we
course.
all love a good bath. And you talked about the Orkney Islands. I think that's such a cool remote location. Can you tell, it was almost like a character in and of itself. Can you tell me how that kind of influenced your portrayal?
I mean, it influenced it massively because Orkney is where Amy Liptrot is from. And so we had done, I think about three pre-shoots before we actually started principal photography. And that included working on the farm that Amy grew up on, delivering lambs, which is exactly what Amy did her whole life, every single year, as a lot of kids of farmers do when they still live at home. That gave me an insight, I suppose, into what's expected of people that work on the land and their children, and the kind of the chaos that comes from that, the demanding nature of it, but also the peace and the isolation. Like it's very much like two worlds crashing into one another at once. So yeah, so that was all really, really helpful. And I think just the fact that we were working with so many natural elements like wildlife, but also extreme weather meant that we really had to bend our production to these outside influences, which was quite a. Are you frozen a little bit there?
What was it like working with Nora?
It was terrific. I mean, we were all so excited to work with Nora after seeing System Crasher, which was her first kind of fictional feature. She had done a lot of documentary work before that. And I think that the sort of work and relationship that we had from the beginning was quite singular. You know, we were essentially building the script together. She broke down the book and worked on the adaptation or a loose adaptation with Amy Liptrot, and then I would come in and sort of add this other layer to dialogue and character development and all of that. So it was the most involved that I had ever been in that particular stage of development. And it really felt that we both had this ownership over this character, and it was a creation that came from the three of us essentially. And so we did so much work beforehand that I think when we actually started working, she really kind of just gave me the room. And then, if there was any guidance needed, she would always step in. But she's an incredibly calming presence and very solid. And I really appreciated her being as kind of grounded as she is.
Absolutely. And I know you work with Greta as before as well. Any plans to join the Narnia cast? Would you like to join Narnia?
If she'd have me, I'll be there in a heartbeat. I think she's still writing it, so she's like in a cave somewhere, putting it all together. But
Going all Greta. I love that. I
not
cannot
not
wait
all
for
full Greta. But yeah, I'll do
it. Full
anything,
Greta.
even if I'm
And Paul, recently did a movie with Paul Mescal. He's got a film coming out as well. And I'm curious, I'd love to see you in like an action sequence. Gladiator 3. Would you do it with Paul?
I would do a film with Paul. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know if there's a character for me in Gladiators. If
Oh, I see it, sure. I
I,
see it.
yeah, see, it's tough though, because you see we've got Wicked coming out as well.
Yes.
And I would love to be a witch with the girls.
Oh, wow. You would have made a great Glinda.
That would have been fun. But no, Paul and I will do many things together in our life. I think we became so close on the movie that we made together, and we plan on having a whole career shared with one another. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we can't wait to see what's next. What is next for you?
Um, there's no, oh well, actually, I made a film at the start of the year called Bad Apples, and I actually only watched it recently, and it's excellent. So, hopefully, we're going to be at the festivals with that next year, and we'll get it out at some stage next year. But it's really great. I'm really excited about that.
I don't think I've ever seen a movie that's not really great that you're in. So
Oh,
I'm
really?
I'm
I
fairly
have.
sure it will be great.
Thank you.
I think you're just spectacular. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. We can't wait to see what's next.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.